Ready, sir. We can start.
Okay. Welcome to the presentation of entire DMS, the Advanced Enterprise Document Management System. So, when the user log into the application, entire DMS is a browser-based application that gives the dashboards depends on the access of the people, and there is a back office model where the components are managed. For example, when you get into the master data for the DMS, all the components which are to be managed. For example, for the document publishing, we have circular type, which is a drop down. So the drop down values are managed part of the back office, the master configuration module. So we can keep the multiple document types or document codes; those can be managed part of this. We also have the serial config where you can configure the serial number. For example, when you generate the new document, system will generate the barcode. You can define how the barcode has to be created. Either you can give a standard values like prefix is an static and the suffix is an static and the running number is 261, next document is 262 kind of stuff. Or when you turn on dynamic, you can make it fetch from your system. Like for example, I can say that where it should be first three letters of the category slash next to three letters of category, like that. Same here, you can say that it should be dynamically always know the current day plus current year plus one. So when the year is changed, so when it come to 2022, 23, you don't need to reset the counter. It will automatically pick up the dates and work on that. That's how the serial configuration helps. We have zones, regions, and branches for easy to manage the employees. Zones can be treated like countries, regions can be treated like the states, branch can be the exact branches which are there within the states. So it can be depends on the type of business. If it's a single country based business, then zone can be north zone, west zone, east zone kind of stuff. Then the regions can be the states and branches can be the branches. So however the users can use it the way they are comfortable with that. And we have an holiday master that defines the working period of the corporate, and it ensures that any workflows are taken into consideration of this holiday and week of summary. Accordingly, the SLAs are defined. The escalations are taking place only when it is breaching this particular holiday weekend areas over there. Announcements can be created based on the access rights. The people who log in, if they have access to that announcement, there will be a scroll bar on the bottom. The announcement will start to scroll over there. Then we have the user management where you can create and manage the user roles. You can create any number of user roles in the system. There is no limits on number of user source. Against each of the user roles, you can define the access control criteria. For example, if he's an accountant, who are the users he can access in the system? So the reporting access role, so that he can view all the data or the transactions of these users. Then you can define what all the menus he can see. So we have multiple menus. You can define what are the menus you can see. Currently there is no menu selected for the user. If you give on the top level, all other things will come. So you can even give the menu access to an individual node, or you can give at the individual header, or you can give globally. And then when you save, system will take the menu access for the user from here. Similarly, we have got a default page whether the users can see a dashboard or a particular scan. If somebody sitting in the system whose job is just scanning and upload the documents, they don't need to go to the dashboard, click and see it. We can give directly the scan upload page so that they can continue to do their work comfortably and easily. So dashboard access will define what all the dashboards the logged in user can view on the system. We have the product type access, which is not for DMS application, which is for the another enterprise suite product of SunSmart. User group access is not in use as we speak now. This feature was brought to accommodate certain customer expectation. As we are able to meet that within the existing setup, we do not use group access. Then the users can create the users can be created on the front end, or the users can be uploaded in the system, or the application supports active directory for single sign on. So however the way the customer looks, we have the ability to create the users. When you get into the user creation, the user type is what the user role. User code is a unique code for every of the users, and the user name can be the user name. We don't use the email password anymore. This is the deprecated field. And reporting user to whom he is reporting. User group is again a deprecated column. We don't need this. The validity determines when the users can work. So only within the valid period the users can access to the application. When validity breaches, the user cannot access the application and work. Education and the default settings about the menu loading. Currently we keep only verticals. Earlier we had few other models of the horizontal loading kind of stuff. Today we keep only vertical modeling for the product. It is an educational feel of the customer. Again, it's only a data point we capture. We don't use it anywhere for the DMS application. When it comes to the user digital signature, so this digital signature will automatically append during the approval process when a user approves. And this signature can also be appended when we define certain templates where the signature is required. So currently we support uploading of the scanned copy of the images, and there is also a PFX file that we are supporting part of the application. User photo, which will appear on the top as the photo of the user. Currently we don't use it beyond showing on the top, otherwise there is no utilization of that. Mail signature is again a non-DMS functionality, is created for some other product. Address details are just data points what we capture. Beyond this, we don't use any of the address details. Whereas the email ID is used for sending when they do the password reset or forgot password. So the notifications and workflow notifications are sent to the email ID of the customer. Mobile number is used for sending the SMS notification for the customer. All other fields are only the fields information we take for the purpose of interest. So the forced logon will come, which means that when a new user is created, when you log in subsequently next time, system picks up the default password, which is configurable part of our web config file. So the user will be, all users when they created new, they will have that password. When they log in first time, system will force them to change their password so that they can change the password, keep their privacy and move on with the system. We support multiple date formats. Currently for DMS, we keep only DDMMYY, that model. We also again support multiple language. The default language of the logged in user is taken up from here. Date of birth is not a DMS field, which is used for some other applications. And the various color schemes, what people wanted to log in when they get into the system is seen here. So automatic password update is a process that the system will make sure the passwords are updated every X number of days, which is configured part of the web config file. So this is how the users are created. When we get into manage users, created users are managed. You can turn on the user approval process so that when a user is created, it has to be approved by the people who have access to this page. So here we have multiple options. Approve. So the users who are on pending mode can be approved with the approval option. When the validity is expired, as what we had seen, the validity can be extended using this functionality. The user's password can be reset in case if the user has locked the password or the user just need to reset, that can be done with this. So this will reset to the default password what is available part of the web config file. User active users can be changed to inactive users, and inactive users can be changed to active users by clicking this user status. As part of our logic across our applications, we don't delete the data from the database, we just change the flags of the records. So to kill the session, if you wanted to kill the active session of the user, which can be killed with that, again, this functionality is not used in real time wherever we have deployed. We can tell it as a deprecated function. Team, again a deprecated function. Master access is a very key field. See, we had seen part of the back office, the master data setting, where all the drop downs are managed. So that is not only based on the menu access. For people, you can give rights at the individual record level. For example, document category, then document type. So I can give rights for the user A only for document category, so that that user A alone can go and do the user category document. Again, you have three different thing. One, only a view access. Second is the create access. Third is modify access. So based on his access, that record will be either visible, or he can create, or he can modify. So you can change these access controls the way how you want. Some of the master data you don't want to give it to the same person, so you can give it to another person by configuring part of this. Same thing we keep uploads. We have multiple uploads like user upload, branch upload, document upload. Multiple uploads are there. You can give rights who can access these functions, and they can upload the files. That's where the upload access gives. Workflow available is a deprecated function. Function access, if the company is using it on an multi-tenancy model, we can give
Sir,
access rights to other functions using this
sir, one
function
second, sir.
access option part of this user management.
Sir,
User access is like we had seen part of the menu user role. What other users a user can access? Here we can extend it for an individual user. What other roles he can access? That can be given here. Same thing for branch access. So the selected users can be
sir,
updated using this functionality. I think I wrongly clicked some choice. So session kill, I clicked it. So it has killed the session of my itself. So let me log in back. So in the manage users, let us take one of the records to modify and go into system to see what it shows. Where all the created records part of the new users will be displayed here, and there are other information what it gives, where for a user you had seen in that menu in the summary screen how to give an access. You can also give access about the branch, menu, product category, default page, dashboard. So for an individual users also we can give those access conditions using this parameter. So third in line is about changing of password, where users can change the password by getting into this option. And user group access is a deprecated functionality. Workflow, wherever it is approved, the workflow can be configured. You can configure workflow into the multiple ways. So like for example, when you look into the DMS workflow, we can add multiple things. Like for example, a workflow can be created based on the value of, let's say if it is a purchase order up to $100,000, we can create one workflow. Up to 100, between 100,000 to $250,000, we can create a second workflow. Like this, you can create multiple workflows. Once a workflow is created, you can define the conditions for it, right? So if you see here, you can see the multiple conditions for it. So which can be based on the category, based on the amount, based on the product, based on multiple parameters. You can configure the workflow here. Now when a record is put, system will start scan from the first record onwards, first policy. So whichever the policy applies for the situation, system will take up. This is the condition where we define. For example, if you look into the first one, you see the condition is about the terms and policies is the category of the document, and status is P. So if this condition is met, system will give this to the set of users who are further configured. You can do a serial workflow or parallel workflow, and you can give ordering of the workflow also, and you can choose whether the role based or user based. Role based means you can choose the roles which are available in the system. If it is user based, you can make the user based workflow for it. You can also define a turnaround time. So when a record is created, system will scan from the first record onwards. So whichever the condition meets, it stops further scanning. There it creates a set of users and post the records into the system. So the first user will get the notification for approval. If it is parallel, all the people on the step 1 will get the notification. And when step 1 is closed, then it goes to step 2, step 3, step 4 until the workflow cycle is completed by the system. During any point of time, the users can reject the record with the comment, which will be available at the summary page of respective modules. If it is document, in the document summary. If it is PO, in the PO summary, where the users can make the necessary corrections by reading the remarks of rejection and resubmit for the workflow process. So there is no limit on number of steps, there is no limit on number of conditions. It's a very flexible configurable workflow component where you can configure all the workflow process. Now when the workflow is configured, we have two types of approvals. One, if you look into our CRM, help desk, ticket management tool kind of stuff, the workflow is considered for allocation of work and people get into the pending screens and start work. When you look into the document management and other things, the documents, for example, in document management, there are two things. One is the file net where just files are uploaded. We have a separate screen for workflow. Whereas for circular management or document publishing, the users can come here and see the published document screen here. So for example, let's look into the DMS workflow.